I cannot find my introduction video. I know I filmed it, but I probably accidentally deleted it, so I will need to go with a faceless introduction here. But welcome to my channel. I'm glad you stopped by. My name's Mary, and I love to share the many projects I have going on around here with you all. In today's video, I will be decorating the mantle in the living room for spring. So far, as I'm filming this, the living room is still in a winter mode, but that is about to change. The weather here in Ohio is turning nicer. We still have cold days, but we have some spring-like days too, which is awesome. Always my favorite time of the year. For the spring mantle, I want to have sort of a vintage garden theme going on. I had been looking for an iron gate of sorts as a centerpiece to set on the shelf part of the mantle. And many of you may have seen this in a previous video where I was antique mall shopping, looking for an iron gate and couldn't find one that day. Ended up buying a crib headboard, I believe is what it is, and I thought possibly I could convert this into a gate. I had also snagged this wire wall decoration a while back in a thrift store. Not sure had I ever shown this or not, but I thought maybe if I fasten that to the headboard, it may look more like an old gate, and maybe also some hinges. So what I plan to do is head out to the shop, and if I'm feeling really brave, I may actually end up welding this together. I have never welded before in my life, but I remember as a little girl I would watch Dad weld, and I would always be scared of all the sparks that were flying. And then my husband kindly just showed me the other day how to go about to even, do that. And it still looked kind of scary to me, but I think I may give it a shot because I think that would be the awesome way to fasten, metal to metal. But if it doesn't work for me, or if I chicken out, I may just end up using my E6000 glue or something like that. So we'll see. I will quickly show you our workshop. I'm almost embarrassed. It's so full and dirty, cluttered. But I'm not sure what I would do without this space. It's just an awesome area to go in and work. If I want to make something out of wood. If I wouldn't have this space, I couldn't do that stuff. So definitely very blessed. And one of the best things that happened this winter is what you're seeing up on the ceiling there. Yep, we have heat in here, so it's even comfortable. So awesome. Sometimes I wonder why I hang on to some of the things that I do, but in times like this when I'm looking for a decoration or just a character piece to add to something, it's so nice to have this to go through. Who knows what I'll find in here. Just odds and ends of pieces that I take off of old furniture. Okay guys, so I think I'm ready to start welding. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous. I hate sparks of any kind. Those sparks you see sometimes on a battery or even just static. Just don't like them, but I've always wanted to try this, and today is the day that I'm gonna do it. John kindly gave me permission to do this. He is gone for the day, but he showed me kind of how it's done before he left. He advised me to have a bucket of water nearby in case I need it. Not sure is that a good thing or not. And I have my eye shield here. The first thing I'll be welding is that bottom hinge, and he had told me to prepare it by sanding off all the paint that is possible to sand off. It always works best if there's not any paint involved, I guess. So here we go. I'm ready to turn it on. As I'm editing, I debated whether to even put this in or not, but there are a bunch of things wrong in this picture. I would probably advise you guys to just not weld. First of all, I forgot to wear gloves, and that's really important. Although with just welding a few specks like this, I did not feel a thing, like as far as, the heat. I should be wearing more of a shield. Again, if I were to weld something, minutes at a time, I would have felt it, but I did not feel any heat of any sort. And, my eyes were protected. That's probably the most important thing. Definitely quite the experience here, but I got it done. Decided to just do the hinges and then glue the rest of my little pieces on there. Gotta say, I involuntarily jumped every time it sparked. Definitely not the most pleasant thing that I've ever done. Oh, and probably not the best idea to have any wood in the vicinity when welding. Thankfully, nothing major happened. I didn't need my bucket of water. The paint I'm using is some I had around here for a while, probably years old. It's a dark brown, glossy paint. I believe it is Rust-Oleum brand. What I have here is an assortment of things I found around here. I want to create about 3 topiary trees for the shelf, and I had previously made these 2 using brown wicker balls and just sticking greenery in them. I've actually used them for years already. I snow sprayed them since I had used them over Christmas, but I want to try to wash that off. And then this one I found in a thrift store. I paid $6 for it, the way it looks. And I plan to just remove the fake greenery here and replace it with maybe this. I want to use terracotta pots, so I plan to clean these up a bit. To fasten some of the sprigs of greenery, I was able to use the original pieces where the ivy had been fastened to, and then the rest I just glued on or just kind of stuck in. It's definitely not something that I'd want to take out in the wind or anything like that, but I think for indoor use it should work. To make it look real, I'm going to use actual potting soil to hold the plant in place. The last topiary tree I'm making for this video is one where I'm using actual twigs from the woods and then using those olive sprigs that I had gotten at Walmart when I did the winter home tour. I'm going to use some wire to fasten those to the twigs. First, I stuck the tree in a small stock pot that I had around here, and I felt the pot looked a little too big for the tree, so I downsized and ended up using a planter also that I had on hand, and I think that looks better. I got a local print shop to print out these cute little vintage bunnies for me. It measures 18 inches square, and somewhere along the line, I think it was on Pinterest or Instagram, I had seen where someone used a vintage image like this and fastened it to an old gate, similar to what I'm doing, and I just love that look. I thought that is the look I want for my mantle this spring. So that's kind of where I got the idea, but these are available on my Etsy shop. I know it's sometimes hard to find a print shop, willing to just print out one large image, and I thought this way, if I'd have them available on my shop, it would be easier for you guys if you're looking for something like this. They're just printed on, I want to say regular paper, but it's a little bit thicker than regular paper, more like maybe what a poster would be. Sometimes when I'm fixing up a space, I am always looking for something to set something on to give it just a little bit of height. Maybe a stack of books sometimes will work, but in this case I am spray painting a Christmas tin that I thought might work for my one tree that I want to add some height to. This pillow cover is available on the Etsy shop. I have some exciting Etsy news to share. Finally, we have our summer candle scents back, and this mantle would not be complete without setting one of my favorite candle scents of all times out, the peach nectar. Oh, it smells so good. It's such a summerish smell. I know it's a bit early here in Ohio for that, but I just can't help myself. So if you're looking for a delicious smelling candle that will remind you of spring and summer, days to come here, make sure to check them out on my Etsy shop. The 3 scents that are back are the peach nectar, coconut lime, and the rosemary sage. All smell amazing. And I do want to mention that Amy, the lady that pours these wonderful candles for me, is taking a break here in March. Her daughter is getting married, so she will not be pouring any for me. And we tried to stock up on these, but if they do show as being sold out, make sure to check back last of March, 1st of April. We will be restocking them, but it was kind of hard to know how many to order, but again, we tried to really stock them up. When lighting these candles for the first time, make sure to trim the wick to a 1/4 inch. It's also a good idea to burn them for a couple of hours. That way your wax will melt evenly. And next time I light it, I always just pick off the wick, if it's kind of crooked or if the end isn't straight. I always try to keep my wick at a 1/4 inch and nice and straight. Also available on my Etsy shop are 2 new curtains. One of them is something similar to what I have in our living room. I've had the hardest time finding the right color for those tan strips of fabric. Finally, I found one that is a lighter shade of tan. It's not quite the gray tan that I have, but I think it's still a pretty color. The gray and white ones are also back in stock. The other new curtain we have is a white one. It's such a pretty fabric. It caught my eye right away when I saw it in Zink's Fabric Outlet, a store here in our area. And hopefully you can see the texture on the video, but there's tiny little balls kind of sticking out on the fabric. And once you wash it, it even gets more noticeable. It kind of softens and fluffs them up. Such a pretty fabric. So if you're looking for new window treatments, make sure to check these out on my Etsy shop. I will link it down below in the description box. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and were inspired to maybe fix up something in your home for spring, especially if you live in a cold winter area. It's so much fun. It brings so much cheer into a room. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate all of you. I hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.